back to a new video. For today's video, I am going to be talking about daily bias. Now, daily bias, one of the most important things for trading. This will be the second video on daily bias. The previous video that I did was for beginners. This one's going to be a bit more intermediate. It's going to be a bit more advanced. So yeah, this is everything I use every single day to get my daily bias. So looking here on the daily chart, I'm going to be talking about how we can capitalize off this range. I always start on the daily chart and I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for liquidity sweeps, breaks of structure, and I'm looking to see how we are respecting off bullish or bearish PD arrays. So as you can see right here on the daily, it is a Thursday, and the previous day just swept this big zone of liquidity right here. So seeing that, that's quite a bullish confluence for the next day. Another thing that we've done, we've also tapped into this order block resting right here. So now we have two bullish confluences for the day. So where would a good target be? Internal or external range liquidity. Seeing how we are respecting external range right here, there is a good chance that we're going to now have a run on internal range, such as this daily fair value gap right here. So this will be my target now. And as you can see right there, it was a Friday. Fridays tend to have low volume. However, Monday we had a massive push higher to take out the draw on liquidity. So another thing to notice now, after taking out our draw on liquidity, what have we done? We've held this order block perfectly. We've pushed price higher off this liquidity sweep as well, and we've also inversed this daily gap. So seeing how we've inversed this daily gap, what can we now think for the next day? Seeing how we have now disrespected a bearish PD array, that tells us that now bullish order flow is kicking into the market. So now we can see the next day potentially be bullish. And as you can see right here, we've had another really bullish day sending price higher. Now I'm going to be measuring the range. So as you can see, we're very overextended. We're pushing over 230 pips. So now seeing how extended we are, I would be expecting a rebalance to equilibrium. So equilibrium being the 0.5 of the range, a massive amount of liquidity lying down here. What else do we also have inside equilibrium? Another daily fair value gap. After sweeping out all these highs, we now have a lot of selling orders resting inside this candle. So now there's a potential to rebalance the equilibrium to hunt more buying orders to then sell the price higher. So what do we get? We have a massive sell-off again. This is good. Looking for a retracement back to equilibrium still. And there we go. We've rebalanced equilibrium and we have filled the daily fair value gap. Now that is quite a bullish sign in price, so I personally would be looking for long positions. And as you can see, on the lower time frame, after the previous day low got swept, there's a lot of potential entry points inside this candle here to then send price higher. So now price has pushed lower and we have also inversed this daily gap as well as closing below the previous day low right here, which is a very big indication for potential shorts. So right down here we have a very strong swing low in the market. A lot of buying orders will be resting here, and as you can see, we've closed with a lot of momentum, so there's a big potential that the next day is going to be bearish to take out this low. And as you can see, after a consolidation day, we then had our move lower to take out this low. Now after we've taken out that low, we have also tapped into this daily fair value gap, and look how perfectly we have closed respecting this daily gap right here. We've closed perfectly holding this, as well as taking out all these buying orders, telling me that there is a potential for bullish order flow for the next day. Now we've taken out our external range liquidity, rebalanced to internal range. What's the next step? We're going to be looking for our daily targets. Right here, another internal range target, this daily fair value gap. So we could see for the rest of this week a potential push higher to take out this gap here. As you can see, there's our push higher after sweeping the previous day low. Previous day low sweep, you could have found a buying opportunity inside here to push price higher. Now what we're going to be looking for with this bullish momentum, I'm still looking for price to push higher up into this internal range liquidity. So what do we get? We get another inside trading day, sweeping the previous day high. So this is indicating potential selling pressure. However, we are still holding this bullish PD array right here. So for me, this would be a bit of an unclear bias. So I would leave this day out. Let's see what we get for the next day. We then start to get a push higher. However, we create no bottom wick. So when the market creates no bottom wicks, no bottom or top wicks, that's very inefficient for price, and price loves to hunt these out. So this is a great draw on liquidity for another day. As you can see, we get our push higher and we inverse this gap. So now we have had a bit of a consolidation day. It looks like we've had a big push higher, closing, disrespecting this bearish PD array. Now bullish order flow is stepping back in. Next good target, just like I said about this low, is this high right here. Notice how it's got no top wick. Price likes to hunt out candles that have no bottom or top wicks. It's very inefficient for price, so price is going to want to fill that in. Now let's see what we get. We get a push higher to take out this candle. Another thing to notice, we are still inversing this gap, holding bullish order flow. We just broke above previous day high. This is giving more bullish confluences. So now I'm going to be wanting to see a run on internal range liquidity. We've got this fair value gap right here. So I'm going to see if we can get a run on this internal range liquidity. And right here we push higher. However, we haven't fully taken out this internal range liquidity. So we have swept the previous day high. And we have now put in a top wick for this candle here. So for me, that is very bearish. However, we have also swept the previous day low and we have tapped inside of another fair value gap. So now we have a bit of a conflict of interest. We have bearish confluences up at these highs here and we have bullish confluences down at these lows. See how we're trapped in between two fair value gaps here? For me, there is still a very strong draw on liquidity above, seeing how we have closed sweeping the previous day low and tapping into the previous day's fair value gap. I think that the most realistic run now on liquidity would be up into this internal range here. So what do we get? We get a run taking out this. Absolutely perfect. So as you can see, targets could have been the previous day high right here, or the target could have been this fair value gap here. Now, looking how we've closed holding this perfectly, and we are still very overextended yet again. So now getting our equilibrium. Right here we have equilibrium and we have an intermediate term low. These intermediate term lows are lows lying inside of a fair value gap. So here's our fair value gap. And as you can see, we have this low resting inside here. Let me just get rid of all of this, might be a bit confusing now. So now we have our low resting inside this daily fair value gap and we are respecting a bearish PD array. We are also very extended in the range. So for me, this is all telling me that the potential for bearish price action is very high. So let's see where price wants to go from here. So now we're getting our hunt lower. But now, as you can see, we are running lower. It looks like we're hunting out this low down here. So my next bet would be for price to push lower and take out this low. And as you can see, that is exactly what we do. Now we have held this low very well and we have also held previous day low. So we've got two sweeps here, a very strong sweep here. And we have 3 bearish days. So for me, a good target could potentially be this high right here, or at least a run back up inside the range to rebalance to equilibrium. So let's see what we get. There we go. So we swept the previous day low again. So right here, this was then turned into the next intermediate term low after sweeping out the previous one. So now there's a very strong reversal chance as soon as we take out this low. What else do we do after taking out the low? We rebalance to equilibrium. So just using those basic concepts, as you can see, I've found very good draws on liquidity. So now we have rebalanced. Where could the next draw on liquidity be? Now this fair value gap has been fully mitigated. So this for me is no longer valid. We still have this devil's mark here, which is the candle with no top wick. So for me, we are sweeping the low, reacting out of a bullish fair value gap. I personally think the next draw on liquidity would be bullish up to this high here. What do we get? We get an internal range day. So we're closing back inside the range, not sweeping previous day high or previous day low. And it was also a Friday. So that's quite expected for a Friday. I still reckon there's good potential for a run higher here. What do we get? We then get our run higher to hunt out this high right here. So the next thing that I've noticed, Monday, this candle right here, we broke the previous week high right here, and we also inversed this fair value gap. Now that is a very bullish sign in price. We have these relative equal highs right here, so I think that could be a very good draw on liquidity. We get a run back inside the range. For Tuesday, we leave behind a fair value gap. We could gauge potential support off this to send price higher. Do we see? We see another inside range day without sweeping any previous day's lows or highs. So next day we could be expecting an expansion. Right here we have taken out the previous day high, external range liquidity. So now I'm expecting a run on this internal range fair value gap right here. As you can see, we took out that internal range fair value gap and we closed disrespecting it. So now we have a sweep on external, a close on the internal. So that can then confirm a bias for potential shorts. Down to this low here. Great target. As you can see, we closed back inside the range again. Another Monday, low volume Monday. Now let's see what we get the next day. Closing above previous day high and tapping into this daily gap right here. As you can see, it's quite a small one, but it is still there. So taking out external range and tapped into internal range. I do believe that the next draw on liquidity would be lower. As you can see, we pushed higher and we broke structure with the previous day high. This is now indicating bullish structure, inversing this day right here, inversing this daily fair value gap, breaking structure. I believe now that the next strongest draw on liquidity could be these highs up here. And as you can see, we had a hunch straight on those highs straight away, and we also took out these relative equal highs. And now we are back to the current day. So I'm going to remove all of this and I'm just going to show you guys what I'm expecting for next week. So now, after everything I've just gone over here, what are we in? We're in an overextended range. As you can see, measuring the range, we're in an extended range of 153 pips. I do believe that the next week we could see a potential rebalance to equilibrium. We've also taken out external range liquidity, these highs here. So what do we have here? Three confluences all matching. External range, internal range right here. We have our fair value gap. Great target for next week. And then we have our equilibrium resting right here. So this is setting up for a really good week next week. Very algorithmic and it looks absolutely perfect. So that is going to be all for today's video. There will be a part 3 to the daily bias. Today was strictly just based on the daily time frame, seeing how you can utilize this and utilize this to get a good understanding of where price action may go. The next daily bias video will be talking about the lower time frames, how you can look for lower time frame confirmations, and then after the lower time frame confirmation, you'll be scaling down to the minute time frames and looking for your potential entry points. There is a free live trading Discord where I go live every single day from 9:30 Eastern time to 11 AM Eastern time. So feel free to join that. The link will be in the description below. But that's going to be all for today's video.